All right, so what we're going to take a look at this week is another way to attack the hips. Love doing a lot of hip work, a lot of hip mobility stuff. But today we're going to add a little bit of resistance to the band today. To the hips today as we work through that hip mobility. Really trying to maybe even drive some strength while we do that mobility work. And sometimes that will help with that increased stability, will help increase the mobility through those hips. So what we're going to look at is in the windshield wiper position. Again, we know this guy here is our windshield wiper. So we're back and forth. So what we're going to do is we'll specifically work on this right hip today. You'll take your loop band we've talked about before, and you're just going to make a double loop out of it. So I've got a little double loop here to use for the first exercise. So we're going to double loop it up. So I've got it double looped. I'm going to put it around the foot, and I'm going to put my leg through as well. So I have that guy double looped. And what we're going to do is we're going to work on that external rotation of the hip in this position. So I'm in that windshield wiper position, and then we've got the double loop band, and then I'm just going to come up, and you will probably want to post on this guy because it's a little hard. You may try to flex forward, so we want to stay nice and tall. So we're going to post here, and we're going to go into that external rotation, really working on that resistance as we do it, pushing against it, really trying to open up that hip. You'll feel all those muscles of the hip, the adductors, the glutes, all those guys, the hip adductors, you'll feel them really working through that range. So if you were to take that guy off and then go back to your range and you were to check it, you may find that you've really opened that up. It allows those muscles to really flow through that motion now. And then the next one, we're just going to go opposite of that. So we were working on that external, we're going to work on that internal rotation now. And you're just going to go through the loop band, and then you're going to add the resistance with your hand on the opposite side. So just kind of getting that band, laying it out back here, and then I'm just going to hold where I feel like I've got enough resistance as I come in. So I want some resistance in this starting position, but I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to come back down into that windshield. So we're working the opposite direction that we were just working with that windshield wiper, sitting up nice and tall. So I'm coming in, driving that internal rotation, and then after you do a few, you may want to grab a little bit more slack, pull that guy back as we do it. So that's two positions, that internal external rotation of that hip in the windshield wiper, that will help increase the mobility through that hip. And then, like I said, you may want to come back and check that guy, and you may be able to really open that hip now versus before. So check that range before you start. Check it afterwards, see if there's any difference. And then again, if you flip to the other side, you'll immediately feel that resistance or that lack of mobility on the opposite side. And again, you would go through, make that double loop, and proceed to do both of those directions on the opposite side. Check it out, see what you think. It's a great way to work on the mobility of that hip.